Broadcasting from the heart of downtown Hollywood. This is SoFloRadio.com.
You are now listening to the Frank Fernandez Show. You can call the show 954-990-0036. You can reach the show on Twitter at FrankTheTank305. Welcome to the Asylum. It's now time for the Frank Fernandez Show on SoFloRadio.com. We're back. Frank Fernandez Show live here on SoFloRadio.com. Happy New Year. Happy New Year to all. How long into the year does that get old before you can't say it anymore? Happy New Year. What's up, David? Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you. Happy New Year, all of our listeners. How was your New Year's?
My New Year's has been pretty good. Can't complain. Can't complain.
Has it lived up to all the hype?
It's been, 13 days old right now, January 13th, 2015. I mean, I guess I got used to writing the date faster than I usually do. I always write the previous year's date.
How many resolutions have you broken already?
All of them.
That's it?
That's it. All of them. I set two. Come on. Does anybody actually follow the resolutions? Because already by February, you're already like, yeah, nobody remembers about the resolutions. Nobody even remembers what resolution they made at that time.
No, I think I actually heard on the news or something like that. I believe it was 8% of America actually follows through with at least two of their New Year's resolutions.
Really? People set more than one resolution? How many resolutions is it normal for somebody to set?
I don't know, at least a handful. I mean, unless you're perfect, there's got to be more than a couple things wrong with you, or at least more than a couple things that you can always improve on.
I'm perfect.
In every way.
I'm perfect.
Yes, sir.
Shout out to all Canes fam listening in. I know Coet is already tuned in, so thank you for making us a part of your day. For those of you that are new to the show, it's David and I. We are the Crazies, and this is the Asylum. David, we got a lot of praise of that last show of the year. We kind of kicked back. We made it more just kind of like laid back and like listening in.
It was fun. There wasn't really too much going on. The Canes were kind of done. I mean, it was obvious we weren't going to make a bowl game, and you know,
we made the bowl game, but I would prefer that we forgot about the bowl game.
What bowl
we have
game?
A lot of catching up to do. It's been, 3-4 weeks since we've been on the air. A lot has happened since we've been on the air. So we'll kind of touch in here and there about it. Just our thoughts, guys. The dynamic of the show, that's what I was trying to get at, is going to change just a little bit. It's going to I don't care about stats. I don't care about names. I get everything wrong. This show's just supposed to be, it's a drive. It's a afternoon drive type of show. So it just kind of just sit back after a long day's work and just kind of just gas bag about whatever the hell you want to talk about.
Sit back and listen to some sports talk. Not even sports, a little bit of everything talk. We're not even going to keep it,
Listeners are already texting in about resolutions that are broken right away. And one of the main resolutions that's broken right away is going to the gym. That seems to be a lot of people's resolution. And even marketing. What are you doing over there? Get rid of that. Even the marketing of these gyms have taken liking to this. So they're even pushing it. They're saying, okay, get your New Year's resolutions worked out and join the gym and this and that. I'm already being texted that one of my listeners already broke his resolution by not going to the gym. So get your ass to the gym, bro.
Well, yeah, that's the easiest one.
What did you do to this?
I did not touch anything. You broke it.
All right, whatever. I think I fixed it.
I wanted a little bit more. Nothing. Never mind. The gym is an easy one to break.
Get your ass to the gym, Ivan. Oh, did I say it?
You did say it. Ouch.
954-990-0036. This is the Frank Fernandez Show, The Asylum, live here on SoFloRadio.com. DP joining me here across the table. Got a lot to talk about. We're going to be talking A lot. But let's get to the more recent stuff first before we start just kind of just derailing ourselves and just talking about anything.
Dun, da, da, da.
It is nice to be back on the saddle. I'll be honest with you. So
We can talk about what just happened last night.
right, and it's the championship game, and it was a great disappointment if you're a Hurricane fan, because you watch that game as a Hurricane fan and you're like, wow, we are so far away from being into that game.
Yes. Yes, we are.
So far away, especially since it seems like nothing changes within the school, within the staff, within the decision making, because we're still riding out Golden now. We're gonna have to ride him for at least another year, and it's
Take the sigh of relief and just look forward to next year.
bro, from stealing, from
That's-
getting, from recruiting's
He
decommitting.
He
from
went over
losing
to Dallas.
All right,
He went to Dallas and he
to
hung
do
out
what?
with Jerry Jones and figured out how to be a boss.
No, he didn't, because he can't be a boss, bro. He can't even fire the defensive coordinator that everybody has pretty much linked to his failure since the beginning of his time here.
Okay, maybe a different kind of boss.
I don't know if the rumors were true or not, but he was told to get rid of D'Onofrio. You know what? And he
He
can't get rid of
was.
his boy.
He was.
He can't. Dude, at the end of the day, this guy's going to take food off of your table if you don't have a job to pay your bills, and you're going to let your boy kind of drag you down that route.
He's going to end his own career by not being man enough to end somebody else's career, especially when you're talking about changing the program, you're talking about leading a new direction, and that new direction you can't even fire. I mean, yeah, he's your friend, but
Look,
you
I'm
still gotta
cool.
fire him.
I'm cool with having Golden on board for at least another year.
So
okay?
am I.
I'm cool with having him for another year, and I've been an advocate of saying I'm cool with him being another year. I just don't like his coordinators. And if, Golden's a defensive-minded person, get somebody that you guys are going to agree with what you're going. And it seems like it's too much. No, I'm going to do this week. No, now you do this week. No, I'm going to do this. It seems like it's like little kids fighting about who wants control of the game. And they got to get on the same page. He's got to find somebody that's going to get on the same page with him in order for his system to work. And that's that. Offensively, leave it all to James Coley. It seems like he knew what he was doing at the FSU game. I bought all the rumors that saying that him and Coley got into a fight at halftime and then totally changed the crap. I had lost my words. Going into the game,
I
okay?
wanted to see you hit this.
Yeah, I
how was
slammed
that?
into a wall right now, 100 miles per hour.
Completely got hit by a bus.
Yeah,
there.
at 100 miles per hour.
That was Ivan. hitting you.
Whatever. Yeah, right. So, like the way they were moving into it, and they totally changed the way they were calling the game. It totally changed. The game totally changed direction right there.
Completely changed direction. The momentum went right back to FSU.
The playbook closed. You know what? Let him do his job and you do your job. A lot of the talk while we were gone was about having Butch over here. And Butch Davis. We want Butch Davis. I feel a lot of that is just the high from watching the U Part 2. Since we're watching the last person that had success with the program, it feels like now everybody wants him. Butch Davis is 63 years old. We talked about this the last show, okay? I don't feel like he's in a position to be a head coach. If he's this great head coach that everybody needs to have, don't you think there'd be more people trying to get a hold of him right now instead of him trying to trying to get a job?
Yeah, I mean, he's pretty much advertising himself right now. But how do you look at him being the head coach? I mean, his age, I don't really look at his age being...
I don't mind it. I don't mind it.
It's not a huge factor to me, especially because we're only looking at his mind, because he's supposed to have coaches with the like-minded mindset that he doesn't have to always be yelling and screaming and things of that nature. I mean, his players are supposed to know. What we need is somebody of his talent caliber to go out and recruit. We need to start stealing these kids back from FSU.
Well, it starts with the staff, and the textures are right. He'll bring back Solinger. He'll bring back his staff. He'll bring back the coaches that he had here that he was familiar with.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and the thing about Butch Davis that I would be worried about, it's not happening. Okay, obviously we're just
Throwing it out there.
The thing about Butch Davis that I was bothered from the beginning is that this is the way we've become as a society. We've become very microwave. Everything has to be ready in 30 seconds or less. You have an option between putting a piece of chicken into the toaster oven or putting it in the microwave. You know what? It takes 15 minutes in the toaster oven. No, I'm going to put it in the microwave. It only takes 2 minutes.
Exactly.
And the problem with that is that we're gonna put all our eggs. Funny, I'm looking at this and I said eggs. We're gonna put all our eggs into the Butch Davis basket, right? After 2 years of us having unsuccessful years or us losing, and with the excuse of him saying we got to get the right players in, we're not going to want to wait for that. So when he finally gets his players, the first year that he doesn't win, same thing with Golden right now, we're going to want to get him out.
Yep.
Okay? And that's going to backtrack us another 6 years or so.
Because we're gonna have to get a new coach, and he's gonna have to get his players. It's all about their players.
We're stuck in rinse, wash, repeat. Like,
Yes.
we're stuck in it. Like, rinse, wash, rinse, repeat. Take the clothes out to put a new batch in.
That's why I
Wash,
like Golden
rinse,
staying.
repeat. And it's the same thing with the Dolphins as well. What do you think that doesn't make sense on how the Dolphins are going on? You know, okay, we had Sperano. Sperano wasn't working out. Before that was Cam Cameron. Cam Cameron didn't work out. Get rid of him. Then bring Sperano. Get rid of him. Now we're going to bring in Philbin. Philbin, 3 years. Doesn't work. Get rid of him. Dude, how long is this going to work? And then we fall in love with the same names out there that everybody else falls in love with. And it's the same story. It's you got to let these guys get something going on. It seems like Philbin finally has something flipped around, but then he also has a crowd behind him that says, get rid of him, get rid of him, get rid of him. And it doesn't work that way. You need people to settle into their positions in order to see them succeed.
Yeah.
When you start a new job and you've been training, okay? Now the handcuffs have been released off you. Do your job. It takes you a while before you start getting into a groove where everything becomes cakework and
Oh, yeah.
clockwork.
Yeah, everything it develop over time. You know, all the ins and outs of your job develop over time because you don't know everything right when you step in the door. But again, you're looking at the same thing. It's always the same thing. I need my players for my scheme. So how do you look at that as an excuse every single time? Every 4 years, we're always doing the same thing. I need my players. I need my players.
Look, the thing with Butch Davis, too, is that nobody wanted him until he left. When Butch came in, you're like, what is this? Bro, I used to go to the Orange Bowl, and I used to hear people complain about Butch Davis all the time. You're a bum. You're never going to win. You're going to do this. So he found the loophole in the system to recruit players into running track instead of playing football, because the football team had lost all those
All the
scholarships.
Yeah.
So he found the loophole. So he
That's
had a
just-
team that as soon as we were out of our probation period, the team started making noise.
Oh yeah.
Then Butch left. They left us with Coker. Coker took the team right to the championship that year. It was cruise control. Okay?
And
Then we saw the coach that Butch Davis was once Coker wasn't
gone.
keeping up the same par of people that we had here when Butch was here.
yeah. And that was the
So
problem.
isn't it funny that you want him when he's gone? Nobody wanted him until he left. And now you want him back. Why? Bro, look, I guarantee you that if you walk down Hollywood Boulevard right now and you pulled a whole bunch of people that are Hurricane fans and you told them, what if I get Jimmy Johnson in here? I guarantee you that 75% of them will be like, yeah, bring Jimmy back. Why? Because he did it once.
Oh, see, I like Jimmy and I like his style. I like the way he was able
I
to
loved his style.
the way he was able to adapt to his players was, really second to none. He knew the talent that he had, and with that great set of hair, how do you not pull in recruits? I mean, seriously.
I'm jealous of that hair.
Every day I'd look in the mirror and it's like,
I see kids with mohawks at Monster Jam, and I'm jealous of that hair. I'm like, man, I wish I can do that. 954-990-0036. Sticking with the Canes. I'm reading in the paper a couple weeks ago, and they're saying that now they're not going to be selling season tickets in the 400 level end zones anymore. Pissed off right away. That's where my seats are.
why?
And I've been sitting there since the Orange Bowl. At the Orange Bowl, I used to sit downstairs. Here, I sit upstairs. But I sit within the first 2 rows.
Yeah.
And they're my favorite seat. And they're my favorite view because it's that whole Madden view. You watch the play develop. It's
Yeah.
not just watching the game. It's watching the plays develop. It's the more intricate part of watching football. And they're not going to sell season tickets anymore there. They're going to tarp off those sections. And they're going to force people to move more towards the middle, upstairs, and they're going to force people to move downstairs. Now, I have no idea what's going to happen with my plan. I don't know if they're going to honor my current rate. I don't know if I'm grandfathered in. I don't know what the deal is, but I've been sitting on that side of the stadium upstairs since when the Canes started playing at Sun Life Stadium, which was in 2007. So I'm kind of bummed about it, and I'm kind of upset. But this is even making me more upset when you really start to think about it. Like, we're stuck in a position that we're stuck in a position now that they're going to tarp off these sections and make more people move to the middle.
Yeah.
What looks more like a joke? When somebody watches the game and sees sections tarped off, or when they actually see empty seats. Now, keep in mind now with the renovations going on at Sun Life Stadium, all the orange seats are going to be gone.
Yeah.
Which is the most intelligent thing they could have possibly done with that stadium. The seats are too bright. Whose bright idea was to make the seats the brightest color that you can possibly find in the crayon box and make all the seats that color? Yeah, all right, so we're going to pick seats all around. I go with black. I go with blue. I go with orange. I go with highlighter orange. Highlighter orange. You can see those seats from space, David. There's very little things on this earth that you can see from space. The Great Wall of China, you can see from space. Hurricanes, you can see from space. Sun Life Stadium, you can see from space. You can be sitting over there in the moon, and you can be looking at Earth as it rotates and takes its time rotating around the sun. And all of a sudden, you're going to see green, 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 because that's all there is in Florida, just green. And all of a sudden, you're going to see, boop, a pink of orange. Not pink, pink. What is that? Oh, Sun Life Stadium. Get out of here. So whose bright idea was it to make those seats orange? I would love to meet that man. Anyways.
That would be Joe Robbie.
So tarps aren't going to be necessary. I don't know if it was him. Obviously, he's just he was the name of the stadium. I don't know if he was the designer. Come on, man.
Oh, he definitely wasn't the designer, but he okayed it. But anyways.
So the seats are going to change colors. Now, don't you guys look... I'm going to curse for a second.
Don't do it.
Don't you think we look like pussies if we have every game tarped off, and then all of a sudden, remember there's no Florida State game here this year, so let's say the highest selling game is going to be Nebraska. You're going to take all the tarps off, look like a bunch of pussies because you can't sell your stadium.
But what would you rather do? Just leave them untarped and always look empty?
Yes. Leave it untarped. Why would you tarp those sections off? You're already tarping off the corners.
Yeah.
Okay? Why are you going to tarp those sections off? Why? You're already upsetting fans as it is because you're going to make them move to sections that they don't want to sit at. Why don't you give fans the option of sitting where they want to sit? Why do we need to follow this communism and say, "No, you're moving downstairs because I want you to move downstairs."
Because I told you so.
And yes, texters, it's a fact. You can see Sun Life Stadium from space. If you want to prove me wrong, get your ass in space and go look for yourself. You can see it. Maybe we can make NASA that one of their next missions. Mission on the checklist. Check to see if you can see Sun Life Stadium from space.
Bing.
Broadcasting from the heart of downtown Hollywood. This is SoFloRadio.com.
By the Glass.
By the Glass is a show about beverage culture.
Brad Hubbard.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to connect the dots on how everything works together. It's really all about how we enjoy things, how we enjoy life, and how beverages play a big part in that. I'm going to bring in people that are going to display their aspect of the culture. I'm going to bring in people that are going to show you different products. We're going to look at places where people go to consume these beverages and how they all interact. Things are built around the actual beverage itself.
By the Glass. Thursdays from 6 to 7. Only on SoFloRadio.com.
Say, remember when radio was fun?
Now it's dead.
Because deregulation has allowed one massive corporation to spread its tentacles like a giant octopus, absorbing radio stations around the globe. And that's why you hear this. Stop it!
SoFlo Radio will stand and fight the corporate monolith. SoFloRadio.com. SoFloRadio.com.
Here's the latest ratings you asked for.
What is this? Where did all our listeners go?
SoFloRadio.com.
SoFlo, what channel is that on?
It's online, sir. Wi-Fi radio.
Oh, I see.
But what channel is it on?
Put your business on the leading edge of media advertising with the SoFloRadio.com network. Unlike antiquated AM or FM radio, your professionally produced 30 or 60-second ad will be heard live on SoFloRadio.com during the day and will be downloaded thousands of times a day on SoFloRadio.com, as well as being heard on our free podcasts on iTunes. Wi-Fi radio and Bluetooth are now available with BMW, Ford, GM Cars and Trucks. Don't get left behind. Contact SoFloRadio.com for details and our very affordable rates. SoFloRadio.com. Stay ahead of the game.
Hi, this is Boca, and I'm not a tranny, but I do play one on radio. Here's my before picture, and here's my after picture. And I owe it all to Luis the Artiste and his new outstanding weight loss program, the Powwow.
All systems are functional.
I'm going to pass the reins to Mr. Jackal, the new king of radio.
Is there life on other planets?
This is nuclear physicist Stanton Friedman, and now I'm a voice in the Jackal's head.
Is the government keeping secrets from us?
This is Stephen Bassett, and I am now a voice inside the Jackal's head.
Want to find out more? Listen to the Jackal's Head on the Soup Media Network.
The biggest trick the Jackal ever pulled was to convince the world that he doesn't exist.
Now, back to the Frank Fernandez Show.
Guys, we didn't come here for no reason. I said, guys, this is ours, man.
On SoFloRadio.com.
And I said, I said, are you strong? They said, I'm strong if you strong. And I said, we strong then.
Commercial, just shot a commercial. When I flew to the set, though, I ain't fly commercial. And the ad is global, yeah, ad was local. Where we shot it was a lot of different agricultural. So I laugh at hopefuls. Nicky Pop.
Welcome to the Asylum, 954-990-0036. Live here on SoFloRadio.com, the Frank Fernandez Show. Frank Fernandez live here each and every Tuesday, 5 to 6 p.m. It's our first show of the year. Last a little Nicki Minaj there. Actually, two things that lead into what I want to talk about right now. First, the intro, the rejoin with Jameis talking, and then bang, because running around in that backfield, it looks like he got shot, and he let go of that ball, man. What's up with that? Trying to do way too much.
Way too much.
Finally, the overratedness of Florida State shows as they get toppled by Oregon. Wow. They lost by 39, bro. That was fantastic.
It felt a little good.
Felt better watching that than it felt watching our bowl game, I'll tell you that much. I brought it up again.
We had a bowl game?
The Duck Dynasty Bowl.
We had a bowl?
What a freaking disgrace. Once again, bad coaching. I don't even remember what else happened in the game. I was too messed up. I decided to drink through the game.
Still don't remember a bowl game.
But let's try to talk a little bit about yesterday. Because it was an entertaining game. It seemed like we knew who was going to win right from the beginning of the game. What's his name? Ezekiel Elliott tore it up. Like 4 touchdowns.
Again.
Dude.
Again. 240 some odd yards, 4 touchdowns.
Here's the thing, man. Like, Urban Meyer goes down to his third quarterback. And
third string quarterback.
His third start, if I'm not mistaken.
Third start.
He looks like if he's been playing quarterback the whole entire season. It's like he doesn't miss a beat. Didn't catch his name, but I caught his nickname, 12 Gauge. I did catch his name. I just don't remember what it is.
As soon as you said that, it's like, I don't remember.
I don't remember what it is.
I don't remember.
But whatever, who cares?
But he absolutely looks like a stud out
there.
there.
Yeah, by the way, listeners, our the way we work is we're going to say whatever we say. We're not going to remember names. We're going to mix people's names up. We're not going to talk facts. We're just gas-bagging. So if you want us to have a proper, correct stat, you can text me. That also gets you motivated into listening to the show live. So that'll probably be a win-win situation later on down the road. If you're listening live, you can call in 954-990-0036.
You're going to get a text 2 months later about this question.
Well, we're getting texts now, so that's great, which is fantastic. If you know my personal number, you can go ahead and text me, and we'll read your text on the air. We're
We did get this fancy big ass phone though.
I think that's just a decoy.
Oh.
But we're going to get David going on that's funny. That's funny. I just got a text. You can also see a text. You can also see Nicki Minaj's ass from space. Another true fact.
That is a true fact.
Very good. Good job, Rocket. As I'm explaining it right there, look, one just came in and I read it on the air. But we're going to get David with the pad. We're going to get him with the website. So we're going to get the show a text line. You could text the show, Twitter, just hashtag the asylum, and then I'll go ahead and read those tweets online on the air as well. But, man, Urban Meyer is a hell of a coach, and I hate him. Not because he's a great coach, because he's a schmuck. Anybody can just hit the reset button on the PlayStation when everything's going to shit. Nikki cursed. I can curse, too.
Did she?
Yes. She said shit.
I was staring at her butt. I mean, I saw her butt through the radio. It was amazing.
But
Urban Meyer.
He's a schmuck. Bro, anybody can hit reset, man. I played my little brother on PlayStation, and I was beating him 160-something one time, and as I was about to cross the end zone for the 100th point, he decided to pull the plug. Anybody can do that. That's exactly what Urban Meyer did. Urban Meyer won his little championships with his little quarterback, his lover, Tim Tebow. Okay? So he won his championships. Tebow, great college player. Just because you're a great college player doesn't mean that you translate into the NFL. We've been saying that. We're going to get into that part of the discussion in a second. Gimmicky quarterback.
You brought up
Tim Tebow. Gimmicky quarterback.
Is he?
Yes, he is. He is because it was.
I mean, honestly,
it was the read option, dude.
the-
Look,
the game
if you
that I was
the read
watching-
option doesn't work in the NFL, not like it does in college. In college, you can run that play every single down, and you can find holes in the defense, and run your ass through them for a chunk of yards here, a chunk of yards there. Before you know it, you're in the end zone.
Correct.
That's what Mariota runs. You're getting me into it right now. Very gimmicky. Very gimmicky. The reason why all his receivers are all so wide open is because of the style of the offense that's run.
Oh, yeah.
It's a very read option style, so he can fake the read option. He has receivers open, and he can find his open receivers.
Correct.
It's the way they run the game. That's why they can run so fast paced. The other gimmicky part about their defense, about their offense, is the way that they don't let the defense get off the field. If you're taking 17 seconds between plays, there's no way for the defense to make substitutions. So you're
Correct.
gassing out the defense.
Correct.
Gimmicky. If you're going to tell me who's better built for the NFL, Winston or Mariota, I'm going Winston every single time. Every single time. And I've kind of vouched for him the last couple weeks on the show because I think he's a great quarterback. He makes NFL throws. He finds receivers running past the second level into the third level, and he finds
He's raw
the windows.
Talent. He's raw talent. He's somebody that needs to sit behind somebody like Peyton Manning and develop the playbook so he knows the playbook when he's able to step in and actually take over. Because I think he is that kind of player that needs to be developed for, like I said, 1-2 years tops, and then he should be able to step into the starting role and a franchise quarterback, I do see.
I got a text that said, let's see if you read this on the air. I love you. Well, I love you too, baby. There you go.
That is so
Mushy moment of the show. So Mariota is very gimmicky, and we kind of saw it yesterday. They took away one part of his game. Oregon, I can never pronounce it right. Oregon is the type of team that has to get their chunk of their yards in first and second down.
Mhm.
Third down for them is successful when it's a third and short. 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3, maybe 3rd and 4.
Yeah.
Ohio State was stopping it on first and second down yesterday and giving him 3rd and longs. Mariota, taking one part of his secret attack away, is now just left to throw in the ball, and he's not going to find first downs. That's the reason why Oregon was punting the ball away like clockwork yesterday. They couldn't do anything against Ohio State other than that first drive pretty much.
But you have to give credit to Ohio State's defensive coordinator. By the third drive in the first quarter, he had already started making adjustments.
Oh, yeah.
By the third series, there was already a new set of guys in the front line. If he was going to be able to put his guys or his main starters back in, he was throwing them in left and right. But at the same time, he was switching lines. Realistically, he looked like an NHL coach right there.
Look,
with different lines and different setups. They were prepared.
Oregon had Ohio State where they wanted them at halftime. It was the same thing with Florida State, too. You kind of saw that Florida State was right there, and it was a close game, but Oregon plays like that. They get you there, okay? They wear you out, and then they pounce on you.
Mm-hmm. Well,
and
that's
and
when
the
the big
and
plays are successful.
what won the game yesterday for Ohio State is whatever Urban Meyer's adjustments were with his coaching staff, as you were pointing out right now, whatever the speech was to the team, because that's exactly what Oregon does. They wear you out, and then in the third, when you're tired, they pounce on you, and that's what did to Florida State. If against Florida State, they just pounced on them in the third quarter. Mariota was out 3/4 of the fourth quarter.
Yeah, that's why on average, Oregon their scoring drives were less than 3 minutes within the playoffs, within most of their season.
They move so much, they're so fast.
The first half, they just pound. So the second half, your cornerbacks are wide open, or your receivers are wide open because the cornerbacks are gassed. Your running back is able to make the cuts because the defensive line is gassed because they're not getting replaced like they should be. So at that point in time, when they blow out people, it's almost expected.
But that works. That works when. Remember, when you're completing all your passes,
in college.
when you have rhythm, that works. Yesterday, Oregon wasn't able to get that rhythm, and they're on a 3rd and long, and they're not moving fast. So Ohio State was able to make their defensive substitution, so they were able to keep players fresh on the field. Oregon was taken completely off their game, and that's one of the things that just totally knocked them out.
Mm-hmm.
Now, genius coaching by Urban Meyer, but like I said, he's a schmuck.
Great coach.
Okay, and anybody can hit reset, because it's funny how you go from a life-threatening illness one year that you have to spend more time with your family, that you want to go to the sporting events and to their extracurricular activities because you want to spend more quality time with your family, and then a year and a half later, your dream job opens. Is that his alma mater? Is that his freaking alma mater? Like, we were talking about this today, and I never looked it up. Let's look up this jackass.
I never looked it up either. I do believe it is.
If I look up, if I put jackass on Google, does Urban Meyer's face come out?
No, actually, you'll probably get Steve-O.
Probably, or
Johnny Knoxville. That's who you'll get.
Yeah, he went to Ohio State.
Yeah, so
he went to Cincinnati and Ohio State, so he's a Buckeye.
So
yeah, your dream job opens up. Okay. Oh, wow! I feel better. And then you go coach, and what is it? 3 years later, you're
rebuilding a program again.
And you've rebuilt it. And dude, he's one of the best. He's a better coach than Nick Saban is. Everybody wants to play for this guy. Harbaugh just went to Michigan, getting paid $5 million a year by Michigan. Let's see how good Harbaugh is. Let's see how much of a genius Harbaugh is, because his work is cut out for him.
Well, he's a organization
revitalizer.
Yeah, he's one of those guys that's supposed to come in, rebuild your program. Is he going to move on? Who knows? If he's successful, wish him the best of luck.
Let's see. He's got the biggest task right now.
He's one of those people that can whip your guys back into shape, give you a regiment, and that's why everyone praises Nick Saban, though.
But how is Harbaugh going to do that when his number one rival just won a national championship?
Unfortunately, he's just going to have to work harder.
Whew.
His recruiting, his scouts.
I don't know if anybody's envying him right now. Yeah, he's getting the paper.
The fact of the matter is, if you want to be a starter, and Ohio State has already filled their scholarships, you're going to go to Michigan to be the starter. So they're still going to get the pool, but are they going to get the cream of the crop, or are they going to get the leftovers? That's the real question.
Yo, that guy has his work cut out for him.
But he's getting paid, so it really doesn't matter.
So what? But come on, man. But he wants to win, bro. Like, that's the thing with that coach with his dream job. Now, Harbaugh's another guy that went after his dream job. He went into his alma mater. He went to his alma mater, okay? So now he's coaching where he once played and that he never dreamed that he would be doing is now he's coaching on the sideline.
Yeah.
Okay? So he's in the big house where he played football in college. Now he's coaching that team. Okay? And his dream is to take his alma mater and win a national championship with them.
Yeah, correct.
Work cut out for him.
Yeah.
This is what Miami needs. Okay? And I'm going back to the Hurricanes like I do with everything. Miami, this is the guy to wrap up the whole conversation that we were making earlier with who's the right guy for Miami at coach. Miami needs somebody that went to Miami. Somebody that knows that sweats Miami, that knows what it takes to win in Miami, that knows the Miami way of life, the Miami will to win. They need somebody like that. Somebody young, somebody that's hungry, and somebody that wants that as their dream job.
Would you even consider Ken Dorsey?
I would consider Ken Dorsey as the quarterback's coach or the offensive coordinator.
Yeah, I mean, he's realistically.
We've talked about this. We've talked about this on the show.
But I mean,
Because he's a quarterback's coach right now.
yeah, I mean,
And-
I would definitely want him as a quarterback's coach or even an offensive coordinator because he knows what Miami's based on. Big plays.
Pro style offense.
Pro style
You know,
offense,
and
big plays.
right, big plays. But you need those players to make the big plays. We have the players now. You can't tell me we don't have the players if scouts are looking at this team and they're telling you that Miami has one of the highest amount of draft eligible players that are ready to get into the NFL out of every team in college. So you're going to tell me that Miami has a ton of players that are ready for the NFL, but what did they go 6-7? Really?
Yeah.
So the coaching isn't doing it. There's no development there. All these players are developing more in the NFL than they are in UM, and this is a trend that we've been seeing since Randy, since Coker, because after Butch left,
we lost that.
We've lost that. There's no player development.
Yeah, after his team left.
You know,
we
Randy
lost
had
it.
Sam Shields. Sam Shields dropped passes. He was a wide receiver in Miami. Was dropping passes. They moved him onto defense. Bro, he's a Pro Bowl defensive DB for the Green Bay Packers.
Yep. Who is now in the playoffs. Championship.
He's hurt, I think. He's hurt, but you know, you get my point.
But his team is still there, and it's because of him. A little bit of his help.
954-990-0036. So, I mean, I don't know if you've been able to figure out who I want, but I think Cristobal would be the perfect person for the job.
Really?
Yeah, I think Cristobal would be the perfect person for the job. You know, this is he was here during the A-Day. He was here during the A-Day, during that quote-unquote swag was developed, that was built, was invented.
Yeah.
He was here during all that time, okay? And you got a guy that went into FIU
with no
program, and people started talking about the program. They started playing Alabama's. They went to bowl games. They won bowl games.
Yeah, within just a realistically
short amount of time.
Short amount of time, he was able to turn a zero program into Division A school.
He was recognized right away because after he got fired at FIU, he was in Miami for about 10 hours, and then Nick Saban recruited him into the recruiting coordinator in Miami, in Alabama. So who do you think is taking all those recruits out of Miami and sending them to Alabama? Yeah, it's your boy, Cristobal.
Right now, it's Cristobal, yeah. And I actually totally agree with you because he's going to have already a regiment built with Miami, and he's going to be known in the Miami area. So his name is not going to be some random dude that you just walk up, hey, do you want to play for random guy? No.
You need somebody. Look, you need somebody that even though it doesn't matter, is gonna get the fan base excited for it, because we haven't had a coach that, as soon as he's been hired, this fan base has been, happy about him.
Actually, Al Golden was that guy.
No.
A lot of people were happy.
No.
A lot of people were happy.
I'm not gonna let you get away with this. No. Nobody who knew who Al Golden was. You told me, yo, the Hurricanes just hired Al Golden. Who? Hold on, let me Google him. Nobody knew who Al Golden was. And then right away people were saying, yo, this guy's from Rutgers. What the hell does he know about, or Temple? What the hell does he know about coaching at the U? He's a Temple guy. People want to send his ass back to Temple right now. So, no, nobody knew who he was. Nobody knew who Butch Davis was. Okay, he had NFL experience on his resume, but nobody knew who he was. Okay? Randy Shannon, people were clamoring for Randy Shannon to be the head coach because they recognized who he was. But he was a defensive coordinator that moved him to head coach. Very quickly saw that he was not head coach material.
Yeah, he wasn't ready.
But then you sign, or you hire then, Al Golden, and nobody knows who he is. Bro, you put somebody in there like Cristobal that people know who he is. He's already been part of this community winning.
Yeah.
So he's already a name in people's heads saying, look,
Winner.
this guy knows kind of what he's doing. It
Winner.
kind of has to do the same way with Harbaugh. Harbaugh, nobody believed in him, took a team like San Diego State, made him a couple winning seasons, and then went to Stanford, then started saying, wow, look, this guy. Then went to San Francisco and went to 3 straight NFC championship games and a Super Bowl.
Yeah, I mean, he is an office turner. He is a field turner. He turns programs around. He's just that type of guy. And I think Cristobal, if you bring him to Miami, give Golden his next year, I mean, we should be heavily trying to recruit him, stealing him from Alabama, because there's a lot of knowledge that he's learning from Nick Saban about his style. And it's not really his style that makes him such a successful coach. It's his regiment. It's his workout program. It's his ethic. He gets the the kids, realistically, they are kids. He gets them to want to play for him. And for 4 quarters worth. That's kind of hard, especially nowadays.
I'm not excited this year for Hurricane football. It's not going to be a pretty year. We're going to start the season off strong, probably 4-0, probably 5-0. But then what? We're going to fall into the same trap that we do every year. Excited the first couple weeks, and then heartbroken towards the end.
We'll hit
it's
our
like
plateau and then slowly start coming back down after second or third loss.
this is probably going to be Al Golden's best defensive line out of his 4 years here so far. This is probably going to be his best defensive line. He's got a great quarterback, and he's got skill players. But if he doesn't get his head out of his ass, he's never going to do anything here at UM, and he's going to go back to bagging groceries, or he's going to have to go back to coaching at Temple or something like that. 954-990-0036. When we come back, we'll talk NFL. Rocket, I'm warning you. You might want to close your ears. We'll be back.
Broadcasting from the heart of downtown Hollywood. This is SoFloRadio.com.
By the Glass.
By the Glass is a show about beverage culture.
Brad Hubbard.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to connect the dots on how everything works together. It's really all about how we enjoy things, how we enjoy life, and how beverages play a big part in that. I'm going to bring in people that are going to display their aspect of the culture. I'm going to bring in people that are going to show you different products. We're going to look at places where people go to consume these beverages and how they all interact. Things are built around the actual beverage itself.
By the Glass. Thursdays from 6 to 7. Only on SoFloRadio.com.
Say, remember when radio was fun? Now it's dead.
Because deregulation has allowed one massive corporation to spread its tentacles like a giant octopus, absorbing radio stations around the globe. And that's why you hear this.
SoFlo Radio will stand and fight the corporate monolith. SoFloRadio.com. SoFloRadio.com.
Here's the latest ratings you asked for.
What is this? Where did all our listeners go?
SoFloRadio.com.
SoFlo, what channel is that on?
It's online, sir. Wi-Fi radio.
Oh, I see.
But what channel is it on?
Put your business on the leading edge of media advertising with the SoFloRadio.com network. Unlike antiquated AM or FM radio, your professionally produced 30 or 60-second ad will be heard live on SoFloRadio.com during the day and will be downloaded thousands of times a day on SoFloRadio.com, as well as being heard on our free podcasts on iTunes. Wi-Fi radio and Bluetooth are now available with BMW, Ford, GM Cars and Trucks. Don't get left behind. Contact SoFloRadio.com for details and our very affordable rates. SoFloRadio.com. Stay ahead of the game.
Hi, this is Boca, and I'm not a tranny, but I do play one on radio. Here's my before picture, and here's my after picture. And I owe it all to Luis the Artiste and his new outstanding weight loss program, the Powwow.
All systems are functional.
I'm going to pass the reins to Mr. Jackal, the new king of radio.
Is there life on other planets?
This is nuclear physicist Stanton Friedman, and now I'm a voice in the Jackal's head.
Is the government keeping secrets from us?
This is Stephen Bassett, and I am now a voice inside the Jackal's head.
Want to find out more? Listen to the Jackal's Head on the Soup Media Network.
The biggest trick the Jackal ever pulled was to convince the world that he doesn't exist.
Now, back to the Frank Fernandez Show.
Hold that plane!
Sir, you can't go in there!
On SoFloRadio.com.
It's okay! I'm a limo driver!
Broadcasting from the heart of downtown Hollywood.
0 to 100 real quick. They be on that rap to pay the bill. And I don't feel that shit, not even a little bit. Oh Lord, know yourself, know your worth. My actions being louder than my words. How you sold, I been still sold down to earth. Niggas wanna do it, we can do it on the turf. Oh Lord, I'm the rookie and the vet. Shout out to the I holding down
954-990-0036. Frank Fernandez Show live here on SoFloRadio.com. Look, David, so Cristobal's first year in 2007, they went 1-11. In 2008, 5-7. Then they went 3-9. Then they went 7-6. Won the Little Caesars Bowl. against Toledo. In 2011, went 8-5. They lost the Beef O'Brady Bowl to Marshall, and then that's when they lost T.Y. Hilton, and then they dropped back to 3-9, which was then what ultimately made him lose his job.
Which ultimately Andrew Luck is very thankful for.
But you're also looking at a Sun Belt championship in there, so man, that's who I'm vouching for. That's the number one name on my list. You got people throwing out bring Butch back. Number one person holding pitchforks and blowtorches on that one is Ivan. He wants to bring Butch back, but I don't think Butch is the right guy for this job, bro. Butch had his time. It's time to move on. It's time to move on.
It's a totally different group.
We need somebody young, somebody hungry.
Yeah, we need somebody who's willing to go into the inner streets and pull out those kids and give them track scholarships. I mean, work around the system. Build the team that he needs to build. So in order when it's his time to shine, it's his time to shine.
Been watching any NFL playoffs?
Oh, I watched it all weekend.
You watched it all weekend?
Oh, yeah.
So what was the number one thing that you saw this weekend that needs to be worth talking about? Come on, don't think about it. The catch. Catch or no catch? Is it a catch or was it a no catch? That's what everybody's talking about. Amazing. Back-to-back weeks. The playoff games are wrapped around all about the official.
See, all of a sudden, there needs to be a sports move after the catch when I see plenty of people catching the ball and sliding for 4 yards. So,
well,
I mean, to me, honestly, I call it a catch because when it came down to it, he had the ball in his hands.
If you do break down the catch, okay, he changes arms, he plants 2 feet. That's enough.
His knee is down, yes. So the ball is at the half-yard line. As far as I'm concerned, it's a catch. Ball's at the half yard. Is it a game changer? No.
It's not a catch, man.
Besides for the fact that it's still not even a game
Look,
changer.
This happened. Do you remember
it's still
this?
Aaron Rodgers on the other side. There's no other quarterback that you want to see on the other side. I mean, seriously.
Do you remember this happening to Calvin Johnson about 4 years ago?
Yeah.
It happened in Chicago, okay? It was a game-winning touchdown pass. He made the catch. When he landed in the end zone, I guess he went to go get his balance with the ball, and he put the ball down, and the ball just kind of squirted out of his hand. It looked like he just did it on purpose, but they called it a no catch. At the end of the day, you need to come into the ground with possession of the ball, and the ball did hit the ground for Des Bryant, and it popped up, and then he was able to catch it, but the ball hit the ground. He didn't have full possession of the ball as he was hitting the ground. And I'm going to get crap from a lot of the Cowboy fans. I've been getting it all weekend because I've been one of the few that said no catch.
But realistically, he still ends up with the ball in the end zone. So, in turn, he still ends up catching the ball. He didn't catch it when he hit the ground, nor did he have control, but he ends up in the end zone, so that technically should be a touchdown.
Right. You know what? And technically, you're right, if this rule didn't exist. All right, this is a rule that fine. The rule needs to be changed. There's no reason for this.
No, I'm just openly thinking to myself, hasn't there been plenty of catches in the NFL just on a season basis that wide receivers are in the slant, hit the ball and kind of slide for a couple feet and then end up with the ball and it's still a catch?
I mean, but how are you going to stop the sliding? You can't stop the sliding. You can't just stop and tell somebody, hey, you need to stop sliding.
What about Fasano when Alex Smith accidentally got tipped? He catches the ball when he's on the floor, and then he is able to jump into the end zone.
Well, he wasn't touched.
He wasn't touched, but Des Bryant wasn't touched when he caught the ball.
But the ball hit the ground. How do you think the ball popped up? The ball hit the ground. The nose of the ball hit the ground. The nose of the ball hit the ground, and the ball popped up. So, yes, he did ultimately end up with the ball. He did ultimately end up with the ball in the end zone. But as he lands down with it, I'm kind of doing it. If you're watching on webcam, you can laugh at me. As he's landing down with it, and he lands in this position, it pops up from here into his chest, and then he grabs it.
Oh.
Okay? So the ball hit the ground. So that's what they're saying. I was shocked that they changed it because originally, like I'm one of these people that watch, and I'm like, in the back of my mind, I'm like, oh, man, that's not a catch. But my girlfriend's a Cowboy fan, so I'm like, yeah, baby, that's a catch. That's a catch. Look, his elbow goes down. And,
oh, darn it.
And then she curses up a storm, which would make a sailor jealous. And I understand, because if it was my team, I'd be pissed off too. But be pissed off at the rule. Looking back at that, what did Dallas going? The scenario was a 4th and 2, and Dallas threw a 30-yard pass down the field. Why don't you give the ball to your horse, DeMarco Murray, and let him fight for those 2 yards? Why are you the life and death of your season. Why is it coming to a 30-yard pass that you're throwing down the field? And let me tell you, Des Bryant had to make a remarkable catch just to get that ball. So it wasn't like if it was like a sure catch.
Well, I mean, you're trying to catch him off guard. You completely
Not to end your season.
Not to end your season. I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't have tried it. Personally, I would have given it to the guy who carried me to the playoffs, which would be DeMarco Murray. But there is no other person that you would want to see the ball go to besides Des Bryant.
Of course you wouldn't say, but then set up a different route for him. Set up an underneath route. Set up a drag route. There's so many different routes that you can set up at that instance instead of setting up a go route down the field and you're throwing a lob to him. Listen, David, you saw the catch. It wasn't a normal. It wasn't a bloop, riding arms. It was a freaking circus catch, bro.
Yes.
The dude made an unbelievable catch. To be honest, if I was the official, I would have given him the catch just for the freaking catch.
Yeah.
Just for the effort of the catch. Like, it was a catch. It was a crazy catch. It was still no catch, But you know what all this taught me? Ball don't lie, homie. Ball don't lie. Ball don't lie. Okay?
So hard.
Why was Dallas? I'm trying to read a text from the Cowboy fan. So Dallas wouldn't even have been in this position if the week before the pass interference penalty wouldn't have been picked up, which not only could fine if you pick up pass interference, but you could have called holding. And if you didn't call holding on it and you decided to pick up the play, you could have thrown a flag to Des Bryant for running on the field, which he had no reason to be on the field because he's an offensive player on a defensive play, cursing at the referee about why is he throwing a flag that's not a penalty. That's a flag right there in sportsmanlike conduct on Des Bryant. Technically, it should have been Detroit playing Green Bay. And that's why you saw a lot of tweets from the Detroit players saying, karma, life's a bitch, sucks, yo, ball don't lie.
No, I thought it was funny that the Detroit players calling them out like, oh, damn, doesn't that suck?
If he would have hit the pylon before the ball would have squirted out, it would have been a touchdown. But then again, look, no, you can't hold me to that because look, Rocket, I know you're listening. You need to go back to the highlight, okay? 2010 when Megatron catches a pass in Chicago and he goes and puts the ball down on the pylon. It was more of a catch than what this was because he actually caught the ball, had a foot in the end zone when he put the ball down. So that was more of a catch than what this was. I feel your pain, and I feel very bad for you guys because, bro, the look on Des Bryant's face at the end of the game said it all.
Oh, yeah.
The dude was heartbroken.
Yeah.
It kind of looks more like a little baby every day, but the dude was heartbroken, bro. You have to feel for him. I felt bad for him.
I mean, you can't tell yourself that he didn't catch the ball, especially if you're Des Bryant. It's like, I caught that, though. Coach, I caught it. Coach.
It's a catch in my eyes.
Coach.
According to the rules, it's not a catch.
I caught it.
And that's what we got to base ourselves for. That's why rules are rules. I mean, I know rules are meant to be broken, but not when you're trying to host a legitimate playoff game.
Technically, that's one of those rules that won't be broken, especially because of the way it was created.
Well, he's telling me I'm wrong because Megatron used the ball to get up. I mean, we can agree to disagree, I guess. At the end of the day, the ball hit the floor.
Eyes of the beholder. That's all that is.
It's just gonna you know what, it's gonna be one of those sports debates that nobody's gonna have a right or wrong answer, and it's gonna kind of be what you believe. I get how you feel, man. Like, I'm not saying it against you just to be against you and just to be against Dallas. I understand how you feel. I understand how all Cowboy fans feel about the situation.
It sucks to
it's
lose
a great
on a
catch,
call,
and
though.
exactly, it sucks to lose when the officials make the last call. Hurricanes felt that way in 2002 when the flag was thrown in the national championships. The pass interference, the phantom pass interference.
Detroit
Hurricanes felt that way in the 80s when Cleveland Gary fumbled against Notre Dame. Felt the same exact way. You can't leave the game to an official, and it sucks when the officials make the call to make a deciding play like that, especially a make or break, win or go home situation like the playoffs is.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we can agree to disagree. I'm not trying to have this discussion.
That's the only thing you can agree, though, is the fact that technically the referee ended the game. Technically. I mean, you still had Rodgers on the other side.
There was.
I don't care if
right,
he catches
you're
it.
right.
It's still Rodgers.
Right. You have Rodgers on the other side. There was 2 minutes and change. I think there was like 2 minutes and 30-something seconds. You still gave Green Bay a chance to get into it.
More than a legitimate
You need
chance.
to reward the effort on that, in my opinion.
Yeah, no.
But according to the rule, it's not a catch, bro, you know? So you can go either way with it, man. Apples and oranges. Heads or tails. Ketchup, catsup. Potatoes, potatoes.
You could just, if you're the Cowboys, you can just go home with that. Because they did.
And I do agree with him. He did make a football move. At the end of the day, though, the ball hit the ground.
There's a
you know, you
rule
want to
just
avoid
for a
that. You want to
situation
avoid
just
that.
like
Don't let the ball hit the ground. The ball hit the ground.
There's a rule just for that.
And you can't say
same
the ball
situation.
didn't hit the ground because the ball popped up and landed back in his chest. Anyways, so I guess we're gonna like scan through the rest of the stuff we were talking about. David Blatt looks like he's in the hot seat. LeBron taking a couple weeks off, saying his back and his legs hurt, but it looks like he was really just sitting back and playing GM from Miami because he gets rid of Deion Waiters, and then he's not even in I think it was Philadelphia that night, and he's not even in Philadelphia to look at him face to face to be like, yo, it was nice playing with you, kid. He was not there. Got rid of Deion Waiters, brought on Shumpert, brought on J.R. Smith, which was another bad idea as it was. Name-wise, you're like, oh, crap. Really, bro? Now they're going to win. Dude, but this guy's a cancer, man. He's a cancer everywhere he goes. You need to keep this guy involved. So he tweets the other day that he goes, if you don't involve me, I lose interest. You think LeBron is kind of regretting his decision to go to Cleveland? I think he is. Bro, they're 19-19. They're number 6 right now in the East. I got this new little website. It's called Reddit.
Oh my god.
I don't know if you know about Reddit, but it's been like my new drug. And I can just go right to the Heat thing.
It's funny.
And I got the schedule right here. I got the standings.
Dude, all the memes they put up.
It's fantastic. It's fantastic, bro. There's a lot of good pictures that have come out of here that I've seen. I'm just like, wow, bro.
It's actually a legitimate, YouTube. You can get lost in that next, and some of the comments people put, amazing.
There's funny people out there.
There really is some funny ass people out there.
All right, so we've talked about Dallas getting robbed, and they did. You don't, like we said, you don't let a last second decision like that doesn't go in the hand of the officials. You let the players do the playing. What road team do you see winning this week? You got the Colts are going into New England, and you got Green Bay going into Seattle.
I don't see anybody on the road winning.
Wow, I see both teams on the road winning.
I don't see anybody beating the Seahawks.
Wow. Well, they're in a groove right now, but you know what? I still see Aaron Rodgers going in there and doing what they got to do. Remember, Green Bay got tore up by Seattle the first game of the season. You think that that's not a chip on Aaron Rodgers' shoulder right now? Aaron Rodgers is ready to rock and roll against Seattle, and they played there, so it's not like they haven't been playing there. They played there. And the weather's not an option. The weather's not a factor. Remember, we're talking about a team that plays in negative 45 degrees.
I'm not arguing. And I'm not arguing. I do not see Green Bay coming out alive.
I don't. I beg to differ, buddy.
I don't. The way Seattle looked on Saturday, you gonna sit there and tell me that Aaron Rodgers has
the way Seattle looked on Saturday against who? Carolina? Like, bro, a team that was like, what, 5-8 and came out of the worst conference in football this year?
They were in a groove, though. Carolina was in a groove. They had actually started playing like the Carolina Panthers were supposed to be playing. And they really didn't do anything wrong. Carolina did not have a crappy game. They played actually pretty good. Problem was Seattle just dominated them.
Okay, Seattle's going to dominate you, but you can't hold Carolina to the standard that Green Bay is. Two different teams, man.
Completely two different teams, two passing styles that are completely different, two different quarterbacks, two different coaching styles, blah, 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 blah. I am talking about the sheer dominance that Seattle showed on defense. And you still just have Russell Wilson, the playmaker.
That dude scares me. That's what I want to see. That's going to be the key for Green Bay winning. Look how many times they got to Tony Romo.
Can they keep
Can
up?
they catch him? Not keep up. Can they catch Russell Wilson?
Yeah.
If they can catch Russell Wilson, Green Bay's going to win that game. But I do see the Colts going in and beating Tom Brady and the Patriots.
See, that one's a complete toss-up, but I still go with Tom Brady at home.
All right, we'll see who's right. We'll check in a couple weeks. We'll see who's right. A couple weeks of Super Bowl. They're playing the Pro Bowl before the Super Bowl this year, so it's going to be different like a couple years ago. Thank you for making us a part of your day. All of my Canes fan brothers, thank you for listening, making me and DP a part of your day as well. It was fun to be back on the air. With that, we're going to leave you with a good night. Enjoy the rest of Stupid Ho. We don't wave, we don't clap, we throw up the U. Let's go, Canes.
You a stupid how. 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 Yeah, you a stupid how.
Broadcasting from the heart of downtown Hollywood. This is SoFloRadio.com.